Hello! Mermaid is in full bloom, so let's paint a mermaid. As you've seen in my previous video, I'm drawing my mermaid with my shape ruler, and it's a very easy method that takes care of the proportions for you. Now I just need to go over my pencil sketch with some fine liners. I used Peat Pen from Faber-Castell, but any waterproof fine liner would work. And I'm just adding lines. This time I started with my line of action because I wanted to make my mermaids really flowy. But you don't have to do that, it's just something I like to do. It looks pretty to me. Now I'm just erasing my pencil lines. Yes, I have a very tiny eraser, but I hate to throw things away. I even use these scraps that are left from erasing. If you need them, you get a kneaded eraser. And I have a video about that on my Instagram if you want to check it out. Check the lines. If there's anything missing, you can give her a simple bra if you want to. Time to paint. Before I forget, like and subscribe, of course. To mix a skin color, a Caucasian skin color, I just take a little bit of ochre and add some red to it and quite a lot of water. And it's a good idea to have a scrap piece of paper, some offcuts, to just try your paint, how it looks. This one is more to my liking, maybe a little bit more red. While the paint is still wet, we add in some shadows wherever something is blocking the light. The light usually comes from sun, from the sky. That means it's coming from above, and things that are underneath get less light. Underside of the arms, the back arm. Now that we painted the body, we can move on to the tail. And I usually mix my paint on the palette, but now I want to try and mix it directly on the paper. These are two methods that you can use, and each one has its pros and cons, and I just want to explore it. Because, you know, why make art if not to explore? I'm being mindful when I'm choosing my colors that I will not choose the same color as the background, because otherwise my mermaids will not be so visible. And I'm also mindful that her hair will not be the same color as the other mermaid's tail, so that when they overlap you can still clearly see what's going on. If you're not sure about this, you can make color sketches. I just do this in my head, but to some people doing color in the head is pretty challenging. So if you find yourself struggling, just make a quick sketch with just two fishy shapes and paint it with different colors and see which one you like the best. I'll make a video about that maybe, if you want to see how to do that on paper, not just in your head. I'm using a water brush, but you don't need a water brush for this. Any brush is okay, actually. Usually other brushes are better. I just took this one because it was near, to be honest. It's easier if it holds a nice point, that's true. For the bra, I'm choosing the same blue that I used here, so that this mermaid will look coherent. And for this mermaid, I'll use the other blue that I used here. These little decisions, you know, make the painting sometimes a bit more harmonious. I'm not saying I'm a pro in that at all, just that's what appeals to me. If I were to make her hair blonde, it wouldn't show up that well. So I'll make her hair blonde, and that would show well over the violet. Blonde hair in reality are never desaturated, but you know, we can play around because these are mermaids and they can have crazy color hair. But if you're making a realistic portrait, or you're trying to make someone into a mermaid on your painting, a specific person, then take that into account. And oops, I got some bleeding because I was impatient and I didn't wait for this to dry. And now we can add some darker tones underneath, because in shadow her hair would be much darker. Even blonde hair are almost black in photographs in those shadow parts. And watercolor dries a lot lighter. For this girl, I'm choosing this warm brown because I think it would look nice with this red, and that just based on my opinion. It's nothing scientific about it. And as I said, if you're not so sure about it, just take a piece of paper and just make a few marks. It doesn't take long at all. If you've got really vivid imagination, you can just imagine how it would look with this color, how it would look with that color. I'm just adding some marks because I want to show the curly nature of this hair. When this dries, I will just add the background. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button so to let me know. It really means a lot to me, and I hope to see you next week with another one. If you try this out, I'd love to see it, so hashtag me at veryartyfairy, and I hope to see you next week with some more fun. And that's it. That's how we paint a mermaid. Hope to see you next week.